What do data engineers actually do? If that's the question in your mind, then this video is for you. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Aqib, and in this video we will be talking about what all different activities are performed by a data engineer. This is not going to be a tutorial, however, I'm going to be walking you through different phases of a project lifecycle and what tools and technologies do data engineers use to perform their daily tasks. Firstly, we need to understand what's a typical data engineering project. It starts with data and ends at a decision. The data that you collect is going to be on the basis of the requirements that are given to you or the problem that you're trying to solve. Beginning with collecting data from the source. There are two ways of doing it. First, SFTP, and the second one is by making an API call. Let's start with SFTP. SFTP stands for Secure File Transfer Protocol. Assuming that you don't own the application, there is other team that owns the application, and you belong to a typical data team, you are supposed to pull data from their server. Now, this is widely used in the industry to transfer files from one server to another. So what's going to happen is the other team that owns the application is going to collect the data from their personal database and place a file on their server, and you are supposed to write a program or a script that runs on your server, makes a secure connection with their server, pick up the file from their directory and land it onto your destination directory. The basic way to do this is writing a shell script. It's pretty easy and there are numerous examples on the web. The second option is making an API call. What happens is the team that owns the application also owns the primary database where it stores the data collected by the application. So now you as a data engineer are supposed to write a code or a script or a program which makes an API call which is exposed by the application team and start collecting data either in a streaming fashion or a batch process. The language and the library that I personally use to do this is Python and requests library. Let's move on to the second phase of the project. You've acquired the data. Now is the time when you start to semi-prepare your data in such a way that it meets the standards of your data storage, like adding audit columns, changing the data types, or making sure the date and time are stored in a way that your data storage understands. Once all of that is done, you move on to the third phase of the project where you actually write the business logic to solve the problem that was given to you. Here you use abundance of libraries. The most widely used that I also use and recommend is Pandas library in Python. Other than Pandas, you also use OS or Spark libraries in order to traverse through different directories, transform the data into useful information, and store them into your tables. So till now, you've acquired the data, you've massaged it, you wrote business logic or code in order to gain information from it. Now is the time you report that information. And how do you do that? You create a reporting table which is going to be loaded every day and is going to be used by the business intelligence engineers in order to create dashboards using their specific tool like Tableau or Power BI. Not only the business intelligence engineers, but also the data scientists can use this data because it's fresh, it's clean, and it's ready for them to run their models on top of this data and provide recommendations to the leadership. So all in all, a data engineer is someone who builds these processes throughout a typical data engineering project. Now, one thing to note here is a data engineer's roles and responsibilities often overlap with that of a data analyst. A data analyst also cleanses the data, massages it, or tries to write a logic to gain information from that data. And that's where a data engineer has an edge. He can act as a specific data analyst. He can move into a role of a business intelligence engineer to create the dashboard because he understands the raw data, so it will be really easy for him to report the information. Thirdly, he can also act as a data scientist and a machine learning engineer because he knows the entire history of the data, how it's being generated, how it's being collected, how it's being cleansed, how it's being reported, and what all things can be done to this data in order to make better decisions in future. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, make sure to hit the like button, share it with people who will find it helpful, and subscribe to my channel for more content. Until then, stay safe, keep recording.